What's the difference between augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality? It is a range of experiences. On one hand, we have virtual reality, which is a total immersive experience where you put on a headset and you are disconnected from your environment. Everything you see and interact is a 3D generated object. And on the other hand, for augmented reality, you have a connection to your environment, like in HoloLens, and you have some extra information, maybe 3D or maybe audio information that's available to you, which is augmenting your reality. Also, we have mobile phone applications like Pokemon Go. You are looking through the glass of your phone and you're able to find 3D objects in the real world. And this whole range of experiences we call mixed reality. And short, it's called XR.
Hello, everybody. I am super excited to moderate this session around the social entertainment industry. My name is Ruthie. I'm your moderator, and I am so very pleased to introduce Kevin Williams to you. He is our presenter for this session. He's the co-founder and technology director over at Spider Entertainment, as well as the founder of KWP Limited, and really focuses on the out-of-home entertainment industry at a national and international levels. So, Kevin, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, that it has to be virtual, but it's an honor to be able to appear in front of your audience.
Well, it's face to face, at least, right?
That's all that matters, as long as we get the job done.
Okay, so I gave a little bit about you there, but I think it would be awesome for the audience to hear a little bit more about you and why you're excited about today's topic.
Well, I'm really a specialist in out-of-home entertainment. It's fundamentally what I've been doing for most of my career. It's just now that the toys have got a lot better to play with. We're in a very interesting point in time for our industry, for all industries. We have been through a black swan event, and the ability now for social entertainment, the ability for all of us to get together again and to play together and to enjoy together, it has never been more important. But also we're dealing with an audience now that is much more highly sophisticated from their consumer games enjoyment. Everybody is born with a silver internet connection in their mouth, as it were. And we're now at that point in time where out-of-home entertainment has to raise the bar, and the ability to use the latest immersive technology has achieved wonderful things.
That is so fantastic. Well, I definitely don't want to get in the way of the audience and your presentation. So we're ready for you. Let's do it. I'm going to remove myself.
Oh, here we go now. So we pray to the great gods of technology and online that everything can work. So I'm going to now share the screen. Here we go. Share screen, and then I will jump into the presentation. There we go. And hopefully you can all see that through your connections. Let's hope that that is working. Anyway, so I'm going to try and go through the main parts of really what the out-of-home entertainment sector brings to the table. I'm going to talk a little bit about the technology that we're employing, and I'm also going to go a little bit into some of the new aspects that we'll be seeing coming along in the near future. The session is broken down really into the market, the technologies.
I can't see it.
Can you see us?
No, well, I can see you. Did you use
Oh,
the share button through StreamYard?
yes. Let's try. Yeah, see, there you go. So let's try again. Share.
There it is.
Is that working now?
It is. Poof, I'm gone.
Ah, the gods. You see, I take the mick and they bite me. I apologize. So, just a little bit about myself. I've come from a background both in the theme park industry and the amusement industry, but also from the consumer games and the simulation sector. And you'll be seeing a little bit more clearly when we go through the presentation why all of these technologies are relevant to what we do in out of home entertainment. I run a consultancy called KWP, but I'm also the technology director and co-founder of Spider Entertainment, which is a company dedicated to that aspect of the industry, both operation and development. And I published something called the Stinger Report, which is a scurrilous observation piece newsletter that goes out to the industry that talks about these trends. But anyway, enough about my ego and enough about the companies that we work with and the media services that we are published by. We really need to understand that immersive entertainment is nothing new from an out of home entertainment perspective. The technology of allowing an individual to immerse themselves in a different world is what makes a theme park, but also in the amusement entertainment industry. We have been developing and toying with the latest applications of technologies, from what the Butler saw all the way up to the first attempts of virtual reality in the 1990s. As a specialist in this sector, we really try and break it down into its technology phases rather than getting too wrapped up in the individual applications. So as you'll see here, we've manifested a period of time where we've gone from phase one, the first dabblings of interactive entertainment and immersive entertainment into the market, to the point where we are now entering phase five, where cross reality, XR for another word, is becoming its own individual element. It's actually being deployed into the industry and is actually generating revenue for us, which puts the commercial entertainment industry in a unique position that we're slightly ahead of other sectors where we're actually seeing the value of this application rather than just speculating on it. Again, our industry is split into the real and the digital domains, what some people like to call cross reality or extended reality or XR. We are now seeing the deployment of these various applications across the whole gambit of our sector. And I'll go into a little bit more detail on where these fit into the sector. As I said, the early part of the industry was looking at interactivity and adding an interactive immersive element to the attractions that we put into theme parks as well as into amusement. For the theme park industry, it has been a passive sector, really. Like the cinema sector, we sit back, the audience enjoys what we produce in front of them, and then they go on to the next experience. It is only within the last few years that we've added a immersive application to the development of this, where we are actually using interactivity. The customers are taking part, controlling the narrative that is now driving the market. The amusement industry has taken the traditional amusement piece and turned it into a big attraction. You're not just playing the game, you're being part of the game, you're being pulled into the game. And that ability has allowed us to look at new technologies that drive that fundamental entertainment experience. Virtual reality, from our point of view, has gone through a multitude of changes, but it is only now that we in commercial entertainment can look at the hardware and say that it is viable for application into our sector. We have, for a period of time, taken consumer products, galvanized them, customized them, and then dropped them into the extreme hard fires of commercial application. And it's very difficult for a system that's built for home use to survive in the violent and extremely challenging areas of out of home. But finally, we're in a point where our sector has been able to take the technology, work with the technology, and improve the technology to be suitable for application, for its time in prime time. And just a little bit more on this particular slide, we see the transition into two areas. One is the high-end PC VR area, which is represented by the Valve Index and by the HTC Vive Pros. But there is also the standalone, represented by the HTC Focuses and by the Pico systems, as well as the Meta Quest 2 platforms, where we don't need the large PC, where we don't need the inside-out tracking, and where the individual is a little bit more freer to move within the environments. That said, the latest technology is allowing us to have what we are saying streamed VR content. So that's high-end PC content now pushed to wireless headsets. And that is an area where our sector is able to lead the way because of the amount of money that we're able to throw at the attractions that we develop. As I said, the early phases saw people using the passive approach to this, VR as a kind of cinema experience. Our friends at Proteus came up with really systems that developed an experience that was virtual, the virtual cinema, the virtual immersion of an audience group into a narrative. And it was very popular for systems that have been applied as promotional tools for marketing. We have seen also that passive approach applied to roller coasters and to flat rides. You put the head-mounted display on, the ride experience that is seen through the head-mounted display mirrors the motion of the roller coaster, and suddenly you have a virtual reality roller coaster. And that technology has now jumped onto the next stage where that standalone technology can now be applied to much more wider applications of ride systems. For example, you can take the bumper car and you can add a virtual reality experience, which is interactive, and suddenly you have a virtual reality bumper car system. Our friends from Spree have launched their system at the large trade show only a couple of days ago, showing off this latest technology that allows any facility. And that's an important part. This is not just unique to the larger entertainment sites, but any facility can now have a high-level immersive entertainment experience within their facility. The amusement trade has been quick to embrace the best parts of VR, and we have seen companies take this technology and run with it. And companies like LAI, working with Ubisoft, developed the Virtual Rabbit experience, which is one of the leading VR arcade machines with over 700 units dotted around the global market. Again, using a D-Box motion base to achieve the vibration and movement of the chair seats, HTC head-mounted display, and content from Ubisoft, and voila, you have a turnkey plug-and-play VR entertainment solution that has entertained more people than most of the consumer entertainment systems purely by the ubiquity of its hardware. Other developers have entered into this particular approach of VR, and our friends at Triotech have developed the Storm, and our friends at Raw Thrills have developed their King Kong virtual reality experience, again using a motion seat, but in this case using HP headsets, but with a fundamental difference: the usage of interactivity. You're not just sitting there and enjoying the experience, but you can actually collect things. You can actually control the narrative. And through the ultra haptics tracking system of the player's hands, they are placed into the virtual experience. If you're going to use VR on a roller coaster, on a flat ride, on a bumper cars and go-karts, well, hey, let's use it at the bottom of the swimming pool. That's not such a funny joke. We now have companies developing and launching underwater VR experiences. Our friends at Ballast VR have developed their dive system. And here, waterproof standalone VR headsets linked with unique content, and also in the case of their pool system, using special water jet interactive components, the person is made to feel that they are either floating through space or traveling through the International Space Station or traveling on another planet. The ability to create an immersive experience in a swimming pool just brings a brand new element to immersion wherever you want it. We've talked about really the kind of enclosed applications of VR, but we've also got the free roaming, the ability for the player to put on the headset and interact physically with their guests. And our friends at Hologate are one of the leaders in the application of the tethered VR system, which is you're still able to stand, you're still able to move, but your headset, being a high quality PC VR system, is tethered to the rig. But the play keeps you within the sphere of entertainment. We have other companies that have developed the tethered VR enclosure approach, which allows multiple players to play within games specially themed for the experience. It is the ability to offer this kind of plug and play solution for groups of players that has proved a real draw for this technology in FEC, family entertainment centers, and location-based entertainment sites. And using the latest of the standalone systems, in this case from Pico, scaled down, we can now offer an entertainment package that is not just at the teenager level, not just at the kidult level, but also can apply to the kid market, which is essential for family entertainment centers to be able to offer a wide gambit of entertainment for the largest audience. And in this case, Spree, again, have developed their system, which can entertain up to 10 people within the virtual environment, offering quite an improved entertainment experience because it removes the tethers, but also aiming at the widest possible audience. The utilization of unique interactive components to draw the audience into the game experience not only includes the virtual reality, but also the locomotion, the ability to move within the virtual space. And it's that freedom to move wherever you want within the virtual environment that has seen the success of our friends at Virtrix deploying their Omni Arena, which uses their omnidirectional treadmill system. And it is that freedom of movement linked in with esports entertainment content that has proven a very strong boon for this particular platform. That enclosure, that immersive experience, that slice of attraction that you can create in a facility is really scaling down the large theme park ride and making it able to fit in a box. And companies like Major Mega with their holodeck system have created mini theme park experiences using the latest motion base, again from our friends at D-Box, using wind effects and heat effects and haptics through the gun systems that the players use in the experience, again using a tethered headset arrangement using HTC systems, and created a compelling entertainment environment. But it's that free roaming. It is that ability to traverse the whole of the landscape and have freedom of movement that has drawn many to the next generation, the next phase of VR application. And that has been seen with companies such as our friends at Zero Latency, who lead the way in creating free roam VR systems that go into quite large spaces. These are the next generation of the application of VR. These allow multiple players, in this case 8 players at a time, to move through virtual environments unhindered, wearing a backpack and special tracking systems. And it is this kind of immersive multiplayer free roaming experience that is the new generation, the new impetus for facilities and for the audience to take part in. Our friends Dreamscape in America have developed their own interpretation of this free roaming experience and roll out their own unique facilities that incorporate that approach. And there is Sandbox VR, a company that has crossed the boundaries from Asia into North America with their unique free roaming system. Again, backpack VRs, again, interactives through haptics, full tracking of the players' bodies, and also a unique takeaway. The use of the green screen allows for the audience to be placed into the experience and for them to have a souvenir of their time in virtual reality. Taking that free roaming experience can be an issue for some facilities. They don't have the space, they don't have the capability, but they still want to have a hyper immersive experience in their facilities. And so now we're seeing the launch of brand new systems that are really plug and play. a mobile virtual reality experience in a container that can be delivered to any facility's parking lot, and then give them the chance to have their own immersive VR system without having to change their facility. And our friends at Immersive Tech with Uncontained really stole the show at IALPA with a system that offered both a multiplayer experience, but also an escape room style narrative in their space game. And it's kind of really pushing the boundaries of where you want the players to be. You don't want them just having the same old same entertainment. You want them to be able to be immersed in an experience, which has an important factor: the repeat visitation, the repeatability, that draw for them to come back again and try and find out more of the experience, to venture further, to improve their high score. All of these elements really drive the future of the next generation experience. I've talked a lot about VR, and we need to talk about the next element of technology being applied in our sector, and that is augmented reality. We have seen augmented reality used on a player versus player kind of laser tag, kind of survive the hunt game experience from our friends at MeLeap. It is an important aspect that augmented reality, superimposing the virtual elements into the real world, is a unique feature. And the company has been able to create a very compelling player versus player game, which also had a very strong esports element to it. And in Asia, there are competitions run using this system. Taking that application, the company developed a go-kart application of their augmented reality entertainment. Why play Mario Kart when you can live Mario Kart? And the bombs, the coins, and the missiles are represented through the augmented reality headset while racing around on electric carts. The ability to create virtual vistas on top of physical elements has also seen augmented reality used as an entertainment, an edutainment, and an experiential component in the out-of-home entertainment sector. The Unreal Garden, married virtual effects with physical items and proved a very compelling experience. Looking beyond just augmented reality, looking beyond just virtual reality, and we have the cross reality, the XR that I referred to earlier. And it is really ticking all the boxes, bringing all of the elements together and really creating a unique experience that the individual will not be able to emulate on any home system in the near future. We have seen projection mapping deployed now in the bowling sector. The industry looking to approach the new generation of players, and they're increasing the gamification of their experiences. Interactive projection mapping into the bowling lanes brings a new game aspect to the bowling experience, and also drives a new interest from the audience that is looking for something unique, looking for something special from the experience that they're going to enjoy with their friends. I talked about virtual go-karts. I've talked about virtual bumper cars. Well, go-karts using augmented reality or virtual reality are one thing, but if you don't want the audience to have to wear a special head-mounted display, if you don't want to have to go through that kind of complication, then you go to the next level by projection mapping, where you create the whole of the game floor as a projected image, and at the click of a mouse, you can change it from playing Mario Kart to Formula One racing. And all of the elements of firing missiles, of avoiding hazards, of picking up shields, can be projected onto the vehicles as they're tracked moving through the unique game space. Augmented reality can be applied to the climbing walls, and our friends at Valo Motion have been able to create a very compelling entertainment experience. And importantly, this now turns what is just a normal climbing wall into a game system. And being turned into a game system, it can be monetized. It can be a pay-for-play experience. The next generation of this technology really does look towards marrying the real world with the interactive, the digital world. A lot of people have been talking about the metamorphosis of the digital world into the physical world as being the metaverse, but To be blunt, we have been working in that approach of digital into physical for many years, long before the current buzz terms, the current zeitgeist. And you look at a system here that was developed by my friends at Walt Disney Imagineering, and that achieves two things. You have the physicality of the environment that you have created, superimposed with the digital effects that marry with the animations, and then the ability for the players to shoot the characters and for their marks to be left on the screen and for objects to be broken and such like. And then at the click of a mouse, the game can be changed. The experience can be changed. You don't have to rebuild the whole facility, but you can change the digital experience. And that is an element that is drawing a lot of interest from the larger entertainment facilities as they see what VR, AR can offer, and now seeing what XR brings to the table. An example of the marriage of many elements of the technologies into one experience is the Ghost Hunter, developed in Japan. The system has people using augmented reality guns, i.e. the ghosts that you are seeing are represented through the gun sight. You also are taking part in projected environments where the enclosure has been specially themed in some areas, but in other areas, all of the elements that you're seeing are digitally created. That is really where we're seeing this technology go, incorporating all of the elements seamlessly to create a unique entertainment environment to take part in. Something that individuals cannot achieve at home, something that is totally compelling, something that uses a lot of the tricks out of the theme park rule book. In the social entertainment market, the growth of projection mapping and projection environments, simulator environments, are one of the trends that is really gaining momentum. We have the Top Golf swing suite environments where you can actually play golf or other games through projected digital representations. And it is this kind of approach that marries both the hospitality, the food and beverage sector, to the interactive, immersive entertainment sector. And social entertainment systems are exploding across the market. Again, going back to the argument I made earlier of the audience coming out of lockdown a little bit stir crazy, a little bit cabin fever. And so social entertainment that also talks a unique language to them is proving very popular. It is technology that anyone from the 1990s will recognize as the cave, the computer-aided virtual environment. I've also heard it called automated, but I'll stick with aided. The whole point of the cave system is that the person is being represented, is being dropped into the virtual environment, and does not need to wear a head-mounted display, does not need to wear specialist glasses. And that can prove very compelling for group play. It is technology that fundamentally comes from the military, and a lot of the technology and a lot of the applications are high-end commercial digital simulation systems that are being repurposed for entertainment application. And here you see really our next generation, the near future, as it were. And this is using the latest of the 8K and 10K projection systems, using body tracking systems, even using physical haptic feedback in special vests and special components of the floor and of the players, or in this particular case, the users' interfaces. It is technology that is already being used by the military and law enforcement. It is technology that has always proven itself as commercial training, and it is now technology that will migrate its way into the commercial entertainment experience of the future. I've taken enough of your time. I've swept through quite quickly a number of disciplines that are impacting the out-of-home entertainment sector, but I'd like to give you some takeaways to help you understand what opportunities this could also have to your businesses. And the first thing you need to understand is that it's an operations model. We have to create experiences that are safe and reliable, but also compelling and enjoyable, and bring the individual into our facilities. And that attraction to bring them into our facilities also means that they have to be strong revenue generators. And finally, they have to be compelling content. And that is something that is driving us. We need more and more content. These are markets that are, these are products and markets that are hungry for the latest content. And we're hoping that many more developers see the out-of-home entertainment sector as the next console, the next game system that they can develop compelling game content to support. And with cross promotion and cross product enjoyment, we will expect to see people using mobile content that then manifests itself into out of home content and then possibly moves into VR or console gaming. Anyway, that is the overview from me. I'm not sure how we're going to take notes or comments from the audience, but I thank you all for taking the time at least to listen to my presentation.
Kevin, that was fantastic. So yes, if anybody has questions, comments, please drop them in the YouTube chat or in the Discord channel for this session. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. And I loved what you said and how you showed how the military and emergency services are using this technology. Because it gave me a flashback. I'm actually an Army veteran, and I remember,
Thank you for your service.
Before going to the range, and we have to go and qualify on the range usually every 6 months or so, depending on which base you're at. But before going there, for the bases that had it, we would go into a closed modular facility and we would practice, and we had special equipment, and our trainers were able to tell us like, hey, your breathing is off, or you shifted here at the last second. And so they were able to kind of tell us what was going on. So that was fantastic. Okay.
Well, the latest versions of that don't have the trainer anymore. These systems actually, it's funny enough, the same kind of technology, machine learning technology that is used in the sports industry. But, you can understand the similarity between professional shooting and professional sports. But now an image is captured of you while you're practicing on the range, sometimes with live ammunition, sometimes with the new haptic feedback weapons, and the computer's telling you, Kevin, you're up, Kevin, your breathing is not correct. Yes, I've had the pleasure of using those systems, though I've always felt like it's a naughty teacher criticizing me all the time.
A little bit. Okay, so we have a question. The question is, what would you recommend for someone as a first step to integrate social networking and XR development?
Oh, well, social engineering, dealing with where the rubber meets the road is a difficult part of this. You've got to find the audience, you've got to present to them the experience, and then you've got to be able to monitor the reaction to that experience. For me, if someone's breaking into that, I would actually start with something simple, such as an augmented reality experience, possibly through a smart app, a smartphone system, in a location-based environment. And what I mean by that, we're all familiar with Pokemon Go. We're all familiar with how successful that was as a social engineering tool for getting us out of the house and moving around. But it came with a lot of problems. People walking into the roads, people were going into locations where they shouldn't be because the experience wasn't localized. And Niantic, who have just raised a phenomenal large amount of money for their next generation of system, are now localizing it, making their experiences location based. So you only go to the McDonald's to find the rare Pikachu. Shows my knowledge of the technology.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah, I know, very rarely though. But the ability to actually have that in a particular place gives you two things. One, you can control the location, but the other benefit of this is you can monitor the response from the audience. And it's a two-way street to answer the questioner's point, which is not only do you need to get to the audience, but you need to monitor their response to the content that you're creating.
Okay. Well, my mind latched onto something that you showed, and I saw a lot of potential there. I think it might have been phase 4, but it was like a mixed reality or maybe it was like augmented reality kind of esports. I think it was mixed reality because the pictures showed the actual people's bodies, but
Yes.
showed what they were actually playing. And what it made me think of was we already have, competitions and championships being streamed for games like Rocket League and stuff, things where
Of
people are
course.
just sitting at their computers. My husband does it all the time. But what I probably wouldn't watch that unless he was doing specifically like
Yeah.
super good and I wanted to support. But I can only imagine how entertaining it would be to be able to watch someone in a mixed reality sports environment because of what you're able to see that's just not possible in I guess in just regular reality. If somebody is kicking a soccer ball versus that soccer ball, at least to me, looking like it's on fire, that sounds like wonderful entertainment to me.
Of course, taking it to the next level, and that really sums up where competitive sports is going. We are seeing a major interest in esports across the
Mhm.
market, but most of the esports experience is very secular. You sit at home, you take part in an esports competition, and really it's a remote competition. It isn't until you have that live audience, it isn't until you actually have the athletes, because they are athletes,
Mhm.
on stage competing against each other, do we take esports to the next level. And so it is now being seen that it's an out-of-home entertainment. And so the product you were referring to in that slide is Hado. And Hado is a group of players on one team shooting lightning bolts and using shields to protect themselves and collecting items in a competitive way. Now, it's really great if you're playing the game. You can see those lightning bolts and you can see the shield and you can see your score. But from an audience point of view, they're just seeing two people throwing imaginary things to them. Unless you look at how the company Meeleap is actually presenting the system in their audience experience, where they use special screens that show what the players are actually seeing from the perspective of the audience. And that
Yes.
creates a fantastic esports television streaming capability. And that also creates audience engagement. And so we're seeing
Absolutely.
across the world the use of esports as a customer engagement system, audience as well as the players.
That's okay. So now I'm kind of imagining, okay, we've got our esports players. We have potentially an in-person, right, out of home audience who is there equipped with what they need to be equipped with to see on an individual level, as well as that being broadcast, just like a football game, basketball game, baseball game, also it being broadcast for people at home, very much like how my husband watches hockey. So right now it's hockey season. So very much like how he watches hockey. And arguably they already overlay things for the at-home experience, like the different lines and all of that. Wow. So that really changes
It
the
takes it to the
game.
next level and it allows other people
Yes.
to be part of it. So let's break it down to its fundamentals. The player could play at home, but he's going to be competing at the venue. So he's going to be competing on unique technology, and this works across all of the genres. We have esports Formula One facilities where people can play on their home systems, but when they really want to compete, they go to the local facility and they get into a special simulator, and that simulator is 100 times more immersive than anything they could try at home. And that also gives the audience the opportunity to watch the player live on the high-tech systems. Our friends at Virtuix have developed their omnidirectional treadmill system, but also
Mhm.
their enclosure where these are played have an audience capability. Esports, out-of-home entertainment are obviously married, but the majority of the audience will be training on consumer systems.
Right. Oh my goodness, there's so much possibility. And so for every presentation I've seen here at the Global XR conference, I have to say, I'm like, okay, this is going to be interesting. But then by the time it's over, I'm just like,
Yeah,
mind
interesting
is
times.
blown. Yes, we're actively crafting what we used to consider to be like the future, right? Like a sci-fi movie. We're actively crafting that today, and what used to seem incredibly far off now seems very much within our grasp, I think.
to paraphrase Edison, the technology that we work with now will soon look like magic.
Yes, that is absolutely fantastic. Well, I want to say just thank you so much for being here, presenting, sharing your expertise with the audience, and just, you know, you being here is supporting the conversation and the discussion. So just thank you so much for being here today.
No, thank you for the invitation to be here, and I look forward to doing it in person next time.
Yes, let's do that. You know, maybe we'll have some type of mixed reality. Who knows?
Who knows?
All right, thank you so much, Kevin. So definitely be sure to connect with Kevin if you'd like to discuss more about how XR, extended reality, and out of home entertainment connect. Obviously, we got just the very, very tip top of his expertise. So definitely connect with him if that's your alley, or if you just want to know more. I want to say thank you so much for watching and joining us today. And I hope you have an opportunity to check out some of the other sessions.